This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the afternoon of Monday, November 13th, 2023. I'm Kate Sharon. Noblesville Mayor Chris Jensen says the planned 120,000 square foot Noblesville Event Center brings his city into the fold as Central Indiana grows its reputation as a sports leader in the Midwest. Officials broke ground last week on the 3,400-seat arena, which will serve as the home of the Indiana Pacers G League team, as well as entertainment, meetings, and other sporting events.
We're glad to be a part of it. We're glad of not only what the Pacers bring, but what other opportunities that arena can bring as well.
The arena is part of a much bigger picture in Noblesville. It will serve as a signature anchor for Innovation Mile, a 600-acre live-work-play development along I-69 that is expected to leverage more than $500 million in private investment as it's developed over the next 5 to 10 years, according to our partners at the IBJ. Coaster Metals Incorporated, a metal fabrication company in the Steuben County town of Fremont, is under new ownership. The company has been acquired by Iowa-based Distinctive Manufacturing Group, though financial terms are not being disclosed. Coaster Metals was founded in 1975. The company provides fabrication as well as contract manufacturing, powder coating and finishing, and automation services for original equipment manufacturers. KMI's operations are expected to continue out of Fremont. The lowest number of Hoosiers in recent history got injured or sick at work last year, according to a survey from the U.S. Department of Labor's Bureau of Labor Statistics. Indiana had a rate of 2.9 workplace injuries and illnesses per 100 full-time workers in 2022, compared to the rate of 3.2 in 2021. When the Survey of Occupational Injuries and Illnesses was created in 1992, the rate was 11 per 100, which rose to 11.3 in 1994. 2022 was the 8th consecutive year that the rate is below 4.0. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Get ready, Indianapolis. IBJ Media, Inside Indiana Business, and the Indiana Economic Development Corporation invite you to the annual Engage Central Indiana event. It's presented by CareSource, Indiana University, and Old National Bank. Wednesday, December 6th at the JW Marriott. We'll be diving into talent, education, and other issues shaping the Central Indiana economy. More at ibj.com/engage.
Almost a year after distributions started from the national opioid settlement, only $7.1 million has been put to use so far in Indiana, as local units of government wrestle with how to make the most of the payments. IIB's Alex Brown has more.
Over the next 2 decades, tens of billions of dollars will flow into state coffers nationally from the national opioid settlement, a court agreement between companies deemed responsible for the deadly, life-disrupting impact of the addictive drug and the localities bearing the brunt of the devastation. On average, 4 Hoosiers die each day from a drug overdose, and 3/4 of those deaths involved an opioid, according to a 2021 updated drug overdose report from the Indiana Department of Health. More than 15,000 Hoosiers have died since 1999, and thousands more have been incarcerated for drug-related offenses due to their addiction. As with mental health services, jails remain one of the few places to receive treatment in a state with a shortage of options. But the $507 million coming to Indiana over the next 18 years from the settlement with distributors AmerisourceBergen, Cardinal Health, and McKesson, as well as opioid manufacturer Johnson & Johnson, has the potential to change that. Payments started going out in December of 2022 with more than $107 million in the first wave to the state and 648 local units of government. Just 606 cities, towns, and counties of the 648 reported their spending to the Next Level Recovery, part of the state's Office of Drug Prevention, Treatment, and Enforcement. Of those, 81% of abatement funds hadn't been expended, encumbered, or designated. Even fewer had opted to spend unrestricted funds. 87% of cities, towns, and counties hadn't touched those dollars yet. 48% of grantees received funds totaling below $5,000. Alex Brown, Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Horizon Bancorp has launched a national search for a new chief financial officer after leaders of the Michigan City Bank said they agreed to part ways with their current CFO. The transition comes at a time of restructuring after another high-ranking employee left the company. CFO Mark Secker has worked for Horizon Bancorp for 16 years and will provide transitional support through April 30th. A company press release announcing the change did not give a reason for Secker's departure. The announcement comes as Horizon makes plans to restructure its mortgage and consumer lending division. No Nahara, who served as executive vice president and senior retail and mortgage lending officer, recently left the company. 2 Indiana companies have been named to Deloitte's 2023 Technology Fast 500 list. This year, West Lafayette-based life sciences company Innotiv Incorporated and Carmel-based software firm Mesh Systems made the list. Innotiv was named number 127 on the list, while Mesh Systems was number 385. Deloitte uses the annual honors to recognize the fastest-growing North American companies in the tech, media, telecommunications, life sciences, fintech, and energy tech sectors. Deloitte's rankings are based on applications and public company database research. The global auditing firm evaluated U.S. headquartered companies based on their fiscal year revenue growth percentage over a period of 3 years, between 2019 and 2022. Indiana University officials have proposed moving much of the administration of the Kinsey Institute to a new not-for-profit organization, a plan that some faculty, staff, and students say is rushed, unnecessary, and underdeveloped. Due in part to the opposition, the IU Board of Trustees on Friday tabled discussions about the proposal, with administrators saying they will take more time to develop the idea, work with Kinsey staff, and address a roster of unanswered questions. Under the proposal announced October 27th, some of the Institute's administrative and operating functions would be transferred to the nonprofit, but its collections and archives would remain under university ownership. The move was proposed after state lawmakers earlier this year banned state funding from going to the internationally famous but often scrutinized Sexual Research Organization. At an October 27th meeting, Kinsey faculty and staff found out about the university's potential plans and the trustees' upcoming vote. Many of them said they were shocked at the idea and how quickly the proposal would be heard by trustees. Others were more unnerved that the administrators present lacked the answers to their questions, which they considered fundamental. A major factor giving Kinsey faculty pause is the fact that the Institute would be, in part, separated from its collections and artifacts, often called the heart of the Institute. Its collections hold hundreds of thousands of artifacts, films, photographs, projects, and other art. 23-year-old Carmel, Indiana filmmaker Ashton Gleckman is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, entertainment, and beyond. Available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Kate Sharon for Inside Indiana Business, Radio on Demand.